worm. You dare to argue with your master?
It was not you whom I swore to serve within these walls. My lips are sealed.
Confess. What was the old man's last command? What are you planning?
Give up, Keeper. You have lost this battle. Again.
We're getting nowhere with these ones, sir. Permission to execute them.
Always keep your eye on the prize.
Oh, come on.
Unexpected result. Over there.
I better myself through my service.
Your arrogance will be your downfall.
For the Emperor!
I've suffered worse.
Who, if not me? Your end was inevitable. I'll see to it personally. I won't compromise my principles. On it.
Pain and duty go hand in hand.
They who discern the future own the battlefield. Will do. What an unfortunate turn of fate.
Follow my lead. I will do my duty. Run to a target!
God Emperor, move through me! Be the fire in my heart! Eradicated! Guided by faith! I'll do it. Cleanses the body.
Just a minor setback.
I'll see to it personally. Still is a taste of what's to come.
But of course.
Hold on. Stay with us.
High momentum.
I've seen worse battles than this in my time. It will be done. Reduced to dust!
Doubt is for the weak.
I'll make it happen. Who, if not me? My gut tells me it's a bad idea. Rise to the top, or get left in the dust.
Look no further. Let me help.
Just in time.
Attention to detail is the key to success.
The Emperor favors me today.
What do we have here? Is there money to be made? Just as I planned. I always get the job done.
The crew continue to mourn Lady Theodora. I fear it may affect the performance of their duties in service of the Lord Captain.
In his service, will they find strength and fortitude. Only thus will they turn their hearts away from the frailties that lead to heresies.
Nothing's impossible for this old officer.
Always keep your eye on the prize.
Would you look at that?
I always have a backup plan.
Never doubt me.
Success is the only outcome I accept. Let us not dawdle. Just as I planned. That's how it's done. Rise to the top or get left in the dust. Keep your wits about you. Is there money to be made? always keep your eye on the prize. Failure is just a temporary setback. This could be an opportunity. I always have a backup plan.
Compared to naval service, that was barely a challenge.
Rise to the top, or get left in the dust. Beg for mercy, but I will grant none.
Purge them!
I'll do it. Strike is a prayer. As the Emperor commands, I act. Faith without deeds is worthless.
On it. I'll make it happen.
On it. What an unfortunate turn of fate.
My place is at the fore. Victory is imminent. Target well struck. It will be done. One fewer target.
I see you gasping in crimson. You frightened me.
Rejoice in battle! I refuse.
Death!
Death to the heretics!
Here's my perfect moment. I'll see to it never stood a chance. Your end was inevitable. It's as good as another enemy down.
Now, this is your burden, child. Survive. Return to the fold of your house as your destiny demands.
No! Don't leave me alone in this violet-brown haze! Wake up! Your mistress is giving you an order! Do you hear me?
He was a fine seer of the war. He fought for his mistress until the end.
Yeah, no. Enough's enough. I've had my fill of waterworks, thank you.
What need have I for your regrets? I just want things to go back to the way they were before. What are you going to do to me? I beg your pardon, but what about my servants? Your Act 5 is still full of people loyal to House Orselio. As a Lady Navigator of House Orselio, I accept your gracious offer of protection. Please, take me to your vessel. I can no longer bear the pain of this place.
Let us not dawdle.
Lord Captain, my apologies. I did not notice your entrance. Compared to Urak 5, your ship is a boundless world of unfamiliar hues. And yet, the abundance of bright colors can at times be wearisome on the eyes. The bridge and the decks are so clamorous. In my search for a place of quiet, I was fortunate to come upon this islet of serenity filled with rare tomes and practically devoid of color. One should not underestimate the navigators of House Orselio, Lord Captain. Like a shawl of pale smoke, a faint malaise hangs upon my shoulders, but it will not be the slightest hindrance to my duty to humanity, and my duty to you. No, it is not that at all, Lord Captain. It is just that Uwe is quite capable of carrying out his duties by himself. He is well accustomed to my whims and preferences. Oh, this. I found this fascinating read on one of the shelves, and I must say, it has caught my eye. Its every chapter is written in verse. I find it so beautiful and enrapturing. Urak 5 had a vast archive of its own, of course, although most of the works within had to do with scholarly disciplines of some sort or another. Only in my sparse moments of respite was I allowed to escape into the pages of more embellished works. There are people on this ship who are far more impulsive and dangerous to others, and far less devoted to the God Emperor than a herald of the Navis nobility. But I did not need your words to see the shades of umber unease that whirl around your subjects whenever I am near. Were I not acquainted with such a reaction, I could have found their behavior and your question just now insulting. Lord Captain, would you kindly explain to me why you are pestering me with these questions? Inquiring about my mood and my needs, showing an interest in the books I am enjoying? You are behaving as if you possessed a shred of fellow feeling for one such as I. I beg your pardon, Lord Captain. That was no way for a navigator to conduct herself. Lord Captain? So many colorful sparks are flaring to life and dimming all around you. It is a veritable ocean of emotions. There are so many of them that I can barely see the pure white sincerity of your words. Please forgive me. I cannot even understand myself right now. Your words and attention have reminded me of life on the station, of Theobald and Felek. I do not understand. They were merely the keepers of Urak 5. So why do memories of those two make me feel a strange heaviness here? At the same time, I find myself overwhelmed with new excitement and anticipation. At last, I have set foot outside my familiar walls, and into a world that I have only seen before in the pages of books. Your ship alone is a treasure trove of remarkable artifacts and curiosities. And just imagine the things that await beyond, but My delight must seem childish to you, surely. In your heart, you must be finding all this quite amusing. Words like that, Lord Captain, could easily be misconstrued. You should familiarize yourself with some of the works in your library to learn the appropriate manner of conversing with a lady. Words cannot describe how boring the bridge is without our stimulating conversations. I am a part of House Orselio, an ancient dynasty of the Navis Nobilite. Since time immemorial, our family has served to advance knowledge, pushing at the boundaries of the dark unknown. The Starway Atlas contains 2,843 routes that chart the sectors of the Segmentum Obscurus and reach all the way from the Coronis Expanse to Holy Terra. And uniting the Imperium's thousands of worlds. House Orselio is bound by commercial pacts to houses Galeatis, Ortina, Drotus, and... There is a dark blue knot tightening on your neck, Lord Captain. I can see my reply is not satisfying your thirst for knowledge. What is it you desire to hear exactly? You will? That would be most appreciated, Lord Captain. Hardly. According to the chronicles of the house, I was born on one of the Orselio worlds. Oh, what was it? Please forgive me, Lord Captain. My childhood memories are too vague. Sometimes I dream about the colorful birds that built their nests in the garden, or the servants dressed in purple livery, or the blue fog that rolled over the lowlands behind the palace. But everything is covered in a rosy haze. Perhaps it is my imagination, not my memory, that is painting these pictures. The Navigator's open eye is baneful to whoever the warp's ruinous shine falls upon, and therefore it is the symbol of our power. We are the guiding stars of humanity, found worthy of an uncommon gift. And one of the duties that we bear is to guard our eye, even from wayward glances that may bear evil. Besides, I am aware that lesser servants of the Imperium may find our appearance repulsive. The Navigator gene twists the features the rabble are used to seeing, and the magnificence of our role cannot be grasped by their feeble minds. Lord Captain, you are overstepping the bounds of propriety. My stay on the station was wholly dedicated to preparing me for my future duty. Astromancy, astrography, numerology, the histories of my house and the Imperium, as well as other disciplines. For many years, dozens of instructors tirelessly prepared me for my destiny. And once a year, Great Regent Alronto would come to the station. He would entrust his beautiful vessel to my command, so that I could master the practical aspects of our art as well. The Regent gave me a bird from a sunlit planet once. I tried to befriend it and make it sing, but for some reason, it refused, and died soon after. The instructors were too respectful of my duty to my house to waste precious time on idle chatter. Aside from them, there were only servants on the station, and you know they have their vocal cords removed, so they cannot break their vow of silence. And since the subject has been breached, Lord Captain, why do you not follow this honored tradition? Your decks are so garish. Apologies, I meant noisy. The rabble don't just chatter. Sometimes they shout and even sing. Why do you allow such a lack of restraint? Rogue traders are highborn, are they not? With life? Ugh, if only you could take my place and watch this kaleidoscope. Every voice is a flash of color. Every conversation a shimmering glow. Every argument is an unstoppable swirl of gaudy splotches. It may be difficult to describe. You see, every navigator perceives the warp differently. My mentor, Great Regent Alronto, always described his travels through the Immaterium as a journey through a vast wood with countless paths. And I, assisting him in the first voyages, futilely tried to follow his example. But the wood would not reveal itself to me. But everything changed when I found my own key to this mystery. You see, I've always brightened up my rare moments of leisure time by painting. You may recall there was a workshop in my chambers. As soon as I imagined the warp as a blank canvas, an indescribable feeling came over me. I moved the brush, going deeper and deeper into my own painting. Visions were hidden within the vibrant colors of my palette, and something inside me knew which should be brought out and which should be left behind. I woke up several days later, after the voyage was safely complete. The Emperor graced me with a gift. I can see inner life in addition to the mundane. You cannot know that a fruit has rotten from the inside until a blade slices it in two. I can see the rot from far away. It roils like swamp mud, oozing through the bright peel. Anger and boredom, sadness and joy. Everything that people shut away inside themselves is revealed to me like colors on the canvas of my world. You will hear no objection from me, Lord Captain. As the only voice of our family on this vessel, it is an honor. As long as your questions are courteous, I will answer every one of them. You are shrewd indeed. My ancestor charted that route while fleeing the enemies of humanity. They say the Emperor himself was his guide, because the warp expelled their vessel without a single loss. Unfortunately, the lips of those who relate this tale seep with disgusting green hubris. I think Colleen Orselio was simply a skilled navigator. Oh, yes. The navigators of the house came to the Coronis Expanse fairly recently, a mere 208 years ago. Before that, our ancestors expanded the borders of humankind's dominion for the glory of the Emperor, blazing trails to different corners of the galaxy. Just as a rogue trader stands at the head of a protectorate, a Novator heads a navigator house. It is the Novator who decides where to look for alliances and which path their bloodline is destined to tread. As for our house, A transfer of power to a successor is currently underway. In the meantime, Great Regent Auronto Orselio is ensuring the stability of the house. So says Regent Auronto. Nothing is decided yet. Some people in the house become enshrouded in rolling grey clouds at the thought of me becoming the Novateur. But even more are bound with dull leaden chains. They think I am not ready for such a burden. By all means. Sister Argenta shines like a guiding star, inspiring resolve in those around her, seemingly inexplicably. However, I see a dark and ugly fog billow behind her, contrasting sharply with her shining light. It burdens the Sister of Battle. It drags her down. Yet Argenta herself is hardly aware of it. Seneschal Viserion is among the few whose colors are a pleasure to look at. Whenever the Seneschal speaks, heavenly crystal clarity spreads around him. And whenever he is angered, dark blue clouds condense over him. And in his rare moments of joy, a pure gleam of sunset pink caresses the souls of those near him. Out of your entire retinue, Lord Captain, he is the only one I would trust with my life. Idira's emotions are like a maelstrom, bright, unbridled, enveloping her form like a wondrous kaleidoscope of colors. And as dangerous as a twisting warp storm. The riot of colors hides the truth from my eyes. What exactly is driving this woman? Is it her own will, or is it the Immaterium, Lord Captain? Right here? Are you sure? Of course. Let us turn from personal matters to more pressing concerns. I have enjoyed your company. Thank you for the conversation.
None are better at searching.
Always keep your eye on the price.
Lord Captain? And who brought this piece of news to you, I wonder? Then again, I have nothing to hide from you. Of late, the helmsmen have been going off course with increasing frequency, and the reports are full of contradicting accounts. The problem continued, even after several demotions were handed out, so I took it upon myself to investigate. I was astonished to learn that our Lady Navigator has been amending entries in the ship's log, and the officers have been keeping silent on her orders. I immediately demanded an end to the outrageous conduct, and I reprimanded Lady Cassia in front of the officers. She greeted my words with silence, and then quickly departed. I should not have acted thus. I never even found out what drove her to do it. Lord Captain.
May the Exalted One protect you. Have you grown bored with our little talk, Sherry? So, Vigdis is snooping in on my Vox line. I wasn't threatening your navigator. I didn't even think about it. I was just relaxing in the good company of fragrant Amasak, sweet-scented La Hogue, and a handful of new friends from the upper decks. And right in the middle of the fun, the Lady Navigator swoops in and starts jabbering about how her head is about to split from the cacophony of colors coming from our cabin. Long story short, Sherin, I had the misfortune of getting a taste of what your officers have been going on about. They say when the Orselio group becomes upset, everyone in the vicinity loses their minds and is overtaken by Aji. And it hurt like anything. I can only remember everyone huddling in a corner, wailing like klaxons. As for Cassia, I think Cassia was flustered by the state of our clothes, which were very meager back then, as you understand. Before I could get my bearings, the porting was gone. The whole situation was awkward. As for the threats, they were addressed to one of the girls I'd been foolish enough to invite to our little party. That Cassia used the confusion to pilfer a full pouch of the La Hogue from under my nose. Argenta? What could be more beautiful than the sight of a sister of battle, whose mere presence casts light in the dark corners of lost souls such as mine? But alas, what remains of my sanity is telling me that poor Jai can only admire the radiance of this angel, forsaking any hope of ever touching her wings. Oh, I have no doubt you will.
Elantark. What do I see? Your words ring with the desire to know the soul of another. But will you be able to comprehend my answer? You and I, Elantark, look at this world in very different ways. And I see many more facets, and deeper meanings, and brighter colors in it. But to capture the full truth of this world in the miserly language familiar to your ears will take time. I will come to you with an answer later.
Words cannot describe how boring the bridge is without our stimulating conversations. Not here. I'm begging you. Aren't noblemen supposed to discuss such things away from the servants? Then lead the way, and I will answer all of your questions.
Don't just stand there. Help the rogue trader defend the child and the palace!
You will pay for betraying Felek and our freedom, rogue traitor! Now kill them all!
Mercy, but I will grant none.
For the Emperor!
God, Emperor. Fire in my heart. Faith with deeds is worth.
It's as good as I'll make it. Tough it out.
I will do my duty. At your...
I'm accustomed to being
What? Tell me. I... Right in center. You've got a pride. I've got a pride. This is good.
Alas, no.
The Emperor is on our side.
Let's... More trouble than it's worth.
Swift.
It will be done. I'm not interested. For Valentius! I've seen worse battles than this in my time. Victory is at your back. It will be done. At your beck and call.
As the Emperor. Doubt is for the weak. Right.
For the retinue.
Is this a job for the serfs? Me? If you insist.
Everyone, step aside. Smite your enemies. Nothing stands against me. I won't do that.
It will be done. Attack. I will do my duty.
I'll do it. As the Emperor commands. Faith.
Focus, Van Callum. Focus.
I'm a navigator. I'm not accustomed to being
Someone else can do this.
A moving target is long. I can do that with the right incentive. Don't get too cocky. You jest, surely. I hold all the cards.
It will be done.
That's not the Seneschal's job. Follow my lead. Victory.
It is so fortunate you have come. I admit I was seeking you out myself. After the events on Dargonus, it felt like an anthracite grey mantle had dropped on my shoulders. I spent a long time thinking about our very first meeting and what happened next. I cannot wait to shake off this dreary color. It was very naive of me to follow in the footsteps of the man who raised me in a gilded cage. And I was deaf to the needs of my own house. But you opened my eyes. As the future Novateur, I must gain wisdom to restore House Orselio to its former glory, no matter the cost. Thank you. It will be an honor to keep guiding your vessel through the Sea of Souls, for as long as the needs of our dynasties are aligned. You will hear no objection from me, Lord Captain. I would never reveal this secret to an outsider, but you have come to my aid more than once already. The Starway Atlas is a sacred artifact of House Orselio. It helps our navigators chart a course through the warp. This crystal, the Atlas, has been inside me for as long as I can remember, giving me strength. But the others... I noticed the renegades in the palace were choked by ashen ghosts of despair when we met face to face. I swear the ghosts were reaching for their atlases. But my atlas is much more powerful than the others. It's the Atlas of Tisiphone herself. That is what people have whispered behind my back my whole life, although no one knew for certain. But I always suspected. I simply did not wish to admit it to myself. Certain navigators in my house have tried to kill me more than once. But the tales of Tisiphone's brutality, I am beginning to wonder. What if they are all true? What if I will be a new tormentor to those who serve me? Thank you for listening. Gifts? What do you mean? I have enjoyed your company. Thank you for the conversation. relief to be talking to you again. Your soul shines like the gold of the sun in the darkness of this place. And yet, you did not abandon me in the darkness, even though you could have. You did not end my life, even though your heart was in the grip of a coal-black vice, and your reason was enmeshed in a crimson web. You gave me the strength to cast off the shackles that Felek's cunning had closed around my soul, to tear down the prison of my own fears. And I wish to repay you in kind. To cast the fading purple of this place from your shoulders. To break the brown collar that is choking you. That is, of course, if you permit me to. This is much better, isn't it? Can words ever describe the joy of being free? As for the rest, don't worry about it. I am the blood of House Celio, its heiress, and I will overcome any ordeal to return us to the Expanse. Somewhere in the middle of the Dark City, I suppose. They say the human mind cannot fathom the bounds of this place, for the Imperium's largest hives look like grains of sand in comparison. A webway gate built by the ancient Eldari is the only way in. I think you realize as well as I do what that means for us. There was only pitch darkness inside the Homunculus' artifact. But there is scarcely any more light in the streets of the Dark City, in whose blue-black haze I am almost blinded by pain. Clumps of brown and dark green blend with the settling ash of misery, all woven together in a tapestry of every shade of darkness. It was real, Lord Captain. I must confess, I have been hounded by eerie strangers for many years. In my dreams, visions, and warp scryings. They try to reach me. They are tormented. They shout something I cannot make out. And one of those strangers, the most frightening one, is a woman who always stands aside and merely looks on in disapproval. Unlike the others, her image manifested itself more clearly each time. The refined features of her elderly face, the long white hair, the empty eye sockets glowing scarlet, and a third eye, the eye of a navigator. Once, in the middle of a warp voyage, the old woman dashed toward me and started strangling me. Praised be his mercy, for I was able to banish her to the fringes of my consciousness at that moment. However, that only angered the old woman. I began to see her ever more often, in shadows, at the edge of my vision, in my own reflection. And it was she, too, who waited for me in the darkness of the Homunculus' cage. I know it for certain. Now, you know the last of my secrets, Lord Captain. Do you think I'm going insane? I had the same exact thoughts. But is that not a wild conjecture, even for a navigator? Or am I simply going insane, as unworthy scions of my family have? Right here? Of course. Let us turn from personal matters to more... I have enjoyed your company. Thank you for the conversation.
rise to the top or get left in the dust.
The Emperor favors me today.
I always have a backup plan.
Idira, either stop glaring daggers at me, or tell me what the problem is. Easily done.
Is there money to be made? galaxy.
This was your last line and play.
Of the Emperor will be undone! I'll do it. I will not. As the Emperor commands, I act. Faith. I'll do it.
Suffering deep in your heart!
A mere pain won't stop me.
Break the light like a bomb!
Tell me, old father, I am coming. My blood is all but gone.
Feel my caress?
But my bones still stand.
Step aside. The Navigator is coming.
Stars adorn our bodies.
Isn't this a job for the stars? Me? If you insist, Lord Captain.
Best defense is a good offense. It's as good as done. You should feel honored to witness this. I'll see that. Consider this a taste of what's to come. Don't let your guard down.
If I may, I die with grace at least.
Brush this off.
Let's see to it.
Holy terror! Smite your enemies!
Scorn the pain. Suffering deepens the art.
I'll make it.
Scars adorn our bodies.
Who if not me? On it.
Just a jest. Merely interlude.
As the Emperor commands, I act. I'll do it.
Echoes.
Use your aegis.
Scars adorn our bodies.
For I am
and break the leg. Falls, and so do I.
I'll see to it personally. It's as good as done.
Just a jest.
Come on, and it's thunder. My strike is ruin. See, feel the icy bite of death. Our foes reek of cowardice.
Suffering is the art.
My strike is ruin.
Feel my caress. Scars adorn our bodies.
I'll make it happen. I'll see to it personally.
Is that all you've got?
Laughter echoes. Dead.
Stay with us!
Just a jest. Merely an interlude.
I'm not accustomed to being ordered around.
Breaks a leg.
I am a navigator, not a servitor.
Who if you should have thought twice before crossing me?
You don't frighten me.
My grand finale.
Another enemy down.
Kakarot smiles upon me.
Accept your lot. I'll make it. The best defense is a good offense.
Deepens the art.
I'll see to it personally. I'll make it happen.
Scars adorn our bodies.
How dare you?
Laughter echoes. Death follows.
Me?
My soul for Kakarot. Oh.
Isn't this a job for the serfs?
You never stood a chance. I'll make it happen.
Merely an interlude.
I'll paint your death in colors.
On it. It's just... I'll see to it.
Suffering.
The best defense is a good offense. Who if not me?
Scars adorn our bodies.
I'll see to it first.
Jest.
Consider this a taste of what's to come. On it.
Merely an interlude.
Me? Isn't this a job for the serfs? I am a navigator, not a servant.
Should have thought twice before crossing.
nice of you to grace me with your presence. I was just thinking back to our journey to the Palace of the Atlas. That is, to the world of Xenos. Remembering that most reckless act has enveloped my mind in a whole palette of hues. But when I think of the great risk you took for House Orselio's and my own sake, an azure shawl instantly descends on my shoulders, and amber sparks flash inside my soul. Please accept my sincerest gratitude. It will take some time for the house to recover, but without the main Atlas, and their greatest fear, me, the house clans will be able to find peace once more. Perhaps they will even find a way to return to that ill-fated planet in the middle of the warp storm and destroy the Eldari stone, or harness its power. But I still hope that the Starway Atlas will die with the current generation of House Orselio's navigators, and that a new era will dawn for their house. How could I refuse freedom, and the chance to walk the path that fate has prepared for you and I, together? Of course, I will try to answer any questions you have. I have enjoyed your company. Thank you for the conversation. Still toiling? They sounded the signal hours ago. You might overstrain yourself at this rate. Wait. I have something very important to tell you. The time I have spent with you has been the most cherished time of my life. You have freed me from the shackles of fear and disgust at myself. I no longer look away from the mirror. I am not ashamed of my powers, and I do not intend to hide from the world inside the cocoon I once built around myself. You have shown me the world, without pretense, the way it truly is. Cruel, unfathomed, treacherous, and full of the most beautiful things. And I've realized that life is not at all like the books we read. Each one of us writes their own story, as best they can, be it with ink, blood, paint on a canvas, or a blade that cuts the air. And I want... by the resplendent throne, I want to write my story together with you. Do you promise to love me till the end of our days? Let this night be my answer to you. Hush and kiss me. I love you. I feel